What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Treasure in the Tool Shed. Now, I'm aware it's been a while since I've done one, but this time of year it makes it kind of difficult. Nobody wants to go out and be in the cold and nasty and all that good stuff. But I've been scouring the marketplace left and right, and this week in particular, I got a mega haul. A couple of weeks ago, I got some other stuff, and it all ties together here for this gigantic episode of Treasure in the Tool Shed. So buckle up, hold on tight, because here we go. Alright guys, here we are, Treasure in the Tool Shed. I don't even know where to start at. Okay, I do know where to start at. I'm going to start right here. Alright, let's see. Hey. Alright, so I was on Facebook scrolling the other day on Marketplace, and always looking for war stuff. I want field worn stuff. Can't always find field worn stuff, but sometimes you can. And I found this guy that had a bunch of World War II stuff. And had a whole box of it. Got like a box lot. Everything he had belonged to the same person that he had bought at an auction. And so I meet up with him, and the guy brings everything, not just what I wanted to buy, but he brought everything. And in that, he had this jacket right here. This jacket is a phenomenal jacket, because everything that I was buying was World War II. He didn't realize it. I mean, of course, I told him before I bought it. That he had a World War I jacket. This jacket right here is well over 100 years old. I mean, not a hole in it, not one moth hole in it. Has a name on the inside. Of course, I can't really read it. I can try. Nope, I'm not even going to try. I can't read it. But it does say 316th Infantry. So that does tie in perfectly to World War I, because 316th Infantry was in World War I. Up here on the top, you've got the got your U.S. Badge, and you've also got one for quartermaster. That's a quartermaster. On the sleeves here, we've got his discharge chevron, kind of similar to what you would see in World War II with a ruptured duck badge. Little diamond-shaped badge in World War II, had an eagle in it, but they called it the ruptured duck because it looked like a ruptured duck. And then down here on the bottom, you have the overseas service chevrons. World War II, you would have something similar. And I've got another jacket we're going to talk about that that ties that in as well. But you can see, I believe you got one chevron for every 6 months. That's how this worked in World War I. So he's got 3, be 18 months, which is pretty impressive for World War I, especially if you know, but I guess he was a quartermaster, so he probably wasn't all the way up front, at least not all the time. But to be in World War I, still pretty impressive, regardless, to make it back home. That was if you know anything about World War I at all, you know that was a terrible, terrible situation for anybody that was involved. So, nice infantry jacket. Would have been what most of them would have worn, quartermaster or not. And we got evidence that the man made it home, which is that much more impressive. Alright, now on to piece number 2 that I bought. I got another piece inside that I didn't bring out because there's nothing really that special about it, but I'm going to talk about it anyway because it was part of this guy's collection. It was a nice, oh my god, it's a nice trench coat. World War II trench coat, in perfect shape, 80 years old. Got a couple of moth holes in it, but all of the buttons are there, not missing a single button. And it's not torn up, which is You don't really find that a lot, especially not with field-worn stuff, and that trench coat would have definitely been field-worn stuff. This was another piece of the man's uniform that I was able to pick up. Missing a couple things up here, nothing real major. There was a couple of dress uniforms also that I didn't buy. I'm probably going to kick myself for not getting it because it did have more of the man's rank and it had all of his medals on it, but I don't know. I don't know why I didn't buy it. I should have bought it, but I didn't. All right, let's talk about what we got going on here. Technician Corporal. I believe World War II was the only time that this particular patch, that title existed, was World War II, Technician Corporal. I believe they made a little bit more money. They had a higher set of skills. That was about it. Their rank didn't really matter. Like they didn't have more authority. Came back in I believe Korea, something similar to this, but they were called specialists. World War II, they were technicians. So that's what we have here. Now, that's a cool one. That is the 3rd Army. If you know anything about the 3rd Army, that is Patton's Army. Yep, General Patton's Army, 3rd Army. And you know what all Patton's Army was involved in. I'm not going to get into the fine details of what Patton did in World War II, but he did a lot. And this guy was in Patton's Army. Also, we have over here on the other side, 5th Army. And the 5th Army was more involved in the Mediterranean, Italy, those areas. So we have a man that has a 3rd Army and a 5th Army patch. This was a busy guy, evidently. Right here we've got his ruptured duck badge, which essentially said that he made it home. Stuck that badge on him. He was allowed to wear his uniform on his way home. Showed that he was no longer enlisted, but that he had just gotten home. Of course, down here on the bottom, we've got your overseas service bars, which, you know, is the years, the amount of years that they were there. And then you've got your service stripe, which shows the enlistments. One enlistment, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Man was in the military. Pretty damn impressive. Oh, and I almost forgot. We do have a name with it, C.V. Thomas. Don't know anything about the man. I haven't had a chance to look it up. One day, very soon, I hope to take all of these uniforms and get them on mannequins so that they can be a little bit better shown and show appreciation for them. It's a lot cooler when you come across these things and they have a name, because you have something you can put it to. It brings history alive. I mean, some people would see this and just see a uniform and you don't know who it belongs to. I don't know who this belongs to other than C.V. Thomas. And given the badges that are on here, the man was an American hero, and I am proud to have this piece in my collection and to show it off. It's awesome. All right, let's talk about a couple other things that I got recently. Thing number 1, right? Gosh! All right, we've got this nice U.S. Brody helmet. Thing is, it's not all rusted up. You know, for something that's 100 years old, just like this jacket here, the World War I jacket that I just showed you, this Brody helmet is in phenomenal shape. Unfortunately, I don't have the liner, and I'm torn between getting a reproduction one to stick in there or just leaving it like it is. You can get reproduction ones. I've even found real ones, just the liners to put in it, but I haven't made my mind up on it yet. I need to do something because that jacket's definitely going on a mannequin in the near future, and when it does, I want to tie this helmet in with it. These helmets, pretty, you know, didn't really help you out a lot. Pretty thin, and of course, World War II, they ended up going to the more modern helmet. We'll get to that one in a second. These World War I believe it's an M1917 is the model. It's either 1917 or 1915, one of the two. Fun fact, these helmets were also worn in the Pacific Theater in World War II. Give you that nice little brim there, keep a little bit of the sun off of you. Didn't really do a whole lot. Again, really thin helmet. And the liners that actually went in these weren't much either. It was just a round piece of leather in the top and then 2 bands. That's all you had to keep you from getting schwacked by shrapnel, which was the big problem in World War I, which is, you know, why you had the wide brim. Let's get on to this other helmet I got here. This was your standard infantry helmet in World War II, equipped with the liner. And the liner is in just as good a shape. I mean, really good shape. Still got the chin strap, which I was extremely happy that this one still had the chin strap. All the leather on the inside and the fiberglass is all in mint condition. I mean, this thing, other than having some rough paint on the outside, is in great shape. But Mr. C.V. Thomas, back here behind me, probably would have wore something almost identical to this, I'm sure. Pretty standard wear for the time. All right, on to the last two things that I picked up, and I'm pretty excited about both of them. So out of that collection, I managed to pick up a couple of other things. One being this Air Force officer's hat. This thing is in primo condition. I mean, absolutely primo condition. Still got the badge on it. The brim, great shape, not falling apart. The inside of the hat is also in great shape. Yes, I tried it on, and no, it doesn't fit. Probably asking if I try on any of this stuff. I'd be lying if I said that I didn't. But I guess I am considerably more husky than those who came before us. And no, it does not fit. But it's a great hat. No real story to this one. I don't have any story to this one other than it's an Air Force, somebody of rank's hat, and it is in phenomenal shape for being 80 years old. Again, World War II. Now, let's get on to the masterpiece here. This one I am so excited about. I couldn't contain myself when I saw it. I had to buy it. And there's nothing really, I don't know. We're just gonna talk about it. I got Frank here wearing it. Frank models it better than me because, again, it doesn't fit me. This right here, I know the story that I was told with the hat. The guy that it belonged to was a B-2 bomber crewman. But the hat itself, you would see it a lot in the Air Force, not just with B-2 bomber crewmen. You would see it with other planes as well, C-34s or C-37s. You know, like the ones that pulled the gliders. You would see these a lot, just for the crewmen. Sheepskin on top, and you have your nice wool on the inside. Phenomenal hat. Of course, you know, it looks a little rough, but you would look a little rough too if you were 80 years old and had been through a war. It is a cool piece, man. And you know, you see pictures of the old bomber crews, and you see pictures of, you know, these old flight crews, and they have these hats on. I mean, they have this hat on too. I feel like you see a lot more of these than you see of these because, you know, I don't know. I feel like these officer hats are a dime a dozen. I see them all the time. Unfortunately, a lot of times people pop the buttons off of them and sell just the buttons, and you get the hats that have a little hole in the middle of them, and it's like, God, man, why'd you take that off? Well, with this one, there's nothing to take off, thank God, because I'm sure it would be missing. It's a great hat, man. 80 years old, and here it is. I'm holding it. If the story's true, it was a B-2 bomber, which is even more impressive because those, you know, German flak guns were doing quite a number on those bombers, man. And for this one to have survived, I'm sure whoever had it during the war, you know, brought it home and continued to wear it because it's got considerable wear, which just makes it even better. And this one I am so excited to have. It's a cool piece. So those are all my more recent finds. Yeah, I'm gonna get into my other stuff too in another video. I've got some German stuff and a couple other things, but I was trying to really showcase my American stuff today. I've got a couple other jackets downstairs, but I think I've showed those in previous videos. I have. These are all my new ones. So hopefully soon I can have them displayed a little bit better. And the wife told me I need to build my own museum and get stuff out of the house. So soon enough I'll have that. And when I have that, we're going on a tour. So thanks everybody for tuning in to another episode of Treasure in the Tool Shed. You guys be safe out there. Be good. Keep hunting. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Love you guys. Take it easy.